Hello friends, this is Praveen. Welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's lecture we will solve the numerical based on the resolution of the vectors in 2 dimensions as well as 3 dimensions. Okay, so question number 1 is given. X component and y component of a vector P are Px equals to 4 root 3 meter and Py equals to minus 4 meter. What is the magnitude of P vector and angle made by P vector with x axis? So first of all, what are given? Here we have given Px equals to, it is 4 root 3 meter and Py equals to minus 4 meter. So what we have to find? We have to find magnitude of P vector, that is P, and we have to find the value of theta, that is direction made by the resultant vector with x axis. So for magnitude we know that the magnitude of resultant vector in the resolution along the 2-dimensional axis is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of its component along x axis and y axis. So I can write here P equals to square root of Px square plus Py square, and therefore we get what is Px? It is 4 root 3, so we will take the square of 4 root 3 plus what is Py? It is minus 4, so we'll take the square of minus 4, and therefore we get what? P equals to square root of, this will be 16 3s are 48, and square of minus 4 will give what? 16, and therefore it is equal to what? Square root of 64, that is 8 meter. So the value of the magnitude of resultant vector is what? It is 8 meter. Now to find the direction of resultant vector, we take the tan theta, and we know tan theta is equal to what? Tan of theta equals to, it is Py upon Px. Therefore Py is what? It is minus 4 upon what is Px? It is 4 root 3. So 4 will get cancelled from both numerator and denominator. Therefore we get what? Tan theta equals to minus 1 by root 3. Or we can also write here tan theta equals to minus, what is the value of 1 by root 3? It is tan 30. Or we can write here tan theta equals to tan 30 minus tan 30 can also be written as tan 360 minus 30. Tan 360 minus 30 will again be minus tan 30. So here we can write tan theta equals to tan 330. Therefore theta equals to 330 degree. That is, the resultant vector will be in 4th quadrant, and I can draw the coordinate axis. This is x axis and this is y axis, and here we have the quadrant of vector P, which are 4 root 3 meter and minus 4 meter. From these coordinates I can say that the resultant vector lies in 4th quadrant. So I can draw this resultant vector as, this is what? P vector, and its magnitude, or this P vector can also be written as, it is 4 root 3 I cap minus 4 j cap, and its magnitude, as we know, it is what? 8 meter. And what is its direction from x axis? It is 330 degree. Minus 1 by root 3 can also give the value of theta as 150 degree, but according to this coordinate, the resultant vector must be lying in the 4th quadrant. In 2nd quadrant this is not possible, because in 2nd quadrant x component will be negative and y component will be positive, but as we have given the x component and y component, so we cannot take the resultant vector in 2nd quadrant, otherwise its value would become 150 degree. Okay friends, so we have given the question number 2. A mass of 2 kg lies on a plane making an angle of 30 degree with horizontal. resolve its weight along and perpendicular to the plane. So first of all, I will make the diagram. Suppose this is a plane which is making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal plane. Let's suppose this is AB plane and it is making an angle of 30 degree with the plane AC, that is horizontal plane. Suppose a block of mass small m is is substituted on the plane AB. So its whole weight will act vertically downwards, and I have to resolve this weight into two rectangular components. One component perpendicular to this inclined plane and second component along the direction of the plane or parallel to the plane. So this angle is 30, this angle is 90. So this angle will be what? This angle will be 60. So if this angle is 60, this whole angle is 90, then again this angle will be 30. So if this angle is 30, this side will be adjacent side. So the perpendicular component of mg will be mg cos theta, that is mg cos 30, and parallel component will be mg sin 30. So these are the two components of mg, which is weight of this block of mass small m, and m is given, it is 2 kg. So first of all, I will write here the values given that m equals to 2 kg and theta equals to 30 degree. So the perpendicular component of the weight, perpendicular to what? Perpendicular to the plane AB, is mg cos theta. So m equals to 2, and if I take g as 10 and here cos theta is 30, so I get what? 20 into cos 30 is what? It is root 3 by 2, 10. So I get what? 10 root 3, or after solving I get what? 10 into 1.732, that is 17.32 will be what? Newton. This is what? W perpendicular. Now I have to find the parallel component, that is W parallel to what? Plane surface AB is equal to what? It is mg sin 30, and this is equal to what? 2 into 10 into sin 30 is what? It is 1 by 2. So I get what? It is 10 Newton. So these are the values of the weight along the surface and perpendicular to the surface AB, which is inclined at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal surface. Okay, so let's solve the question number 3. So question number 3 is what? A force of 50 Newton acts on a box as shown in figure below. What are the horizontal and vertical components of force? So here I have given a block and box, and it is acted upon by a force of 50 Newton, which is making 60 degree with horizontal direction. So let's resolve this vector into two components, one along horizontal axis, that is x-axis, and suppose it is fx, and second one along the y-axis, let it is fy. So fx is what? Fx will become f cos theta, that is f cos 60 degree, and therefore f is what? It is 15, and cos 60 means cos 60 is what? It is 1 by cos 60 is what? It is 1 by 2. Therefore I get what? 7.5 Newton. This is what? Horizontal component. And second one, it is vertical component, and vertical component will be what? Fy is equal to f sine of theta. and this is equal to what? F is what? F into sine 60, because theta is 60 degree. Therefore F is what? It is 15 into sine 60 degrees. What? It is root 3 by 2, and this is equal to what? 7.5, and root 3 is what? 1.732. so if I solve it, I get Fy is almost equal to 12.99 Newton, which is around 13 Newton. After solving this, I get what? 12.99 Newton. So this is what question number 3, which is extremely easy question. So friends, what we have given in question number 4, we have given a particle is moving with velocity 100 meter per second. If one of its rectangular component is 50 meter per second, find the other component and its angle with the given component of velocity. So suppose we have given v equals to 100 meter per second, and let me have given its x component, that is vx, and this is equal to what? 50 meter per second. So we have to find other component, that is vy. This is equal to what? And also we have to find theta equals to what? So first of all, I will find the vy by using its magnitude formula, and that formula is what? V equals to square root of vx square plus vy square, or I can use v square equals to vx square plus vy square. Therefore vy square equals to v square, and this will come on this side and will become minus vx square. Therefore vy square equals to, what is v? It is 100. So I get 100 square minus 50 square, and this is equal to what? 100 square is what? It is 10,000, and minus 50 square is what? It is 2,500, and this is equal to what? It is 7,500. Therefore vy is what? It is square root of 7,500, and I can write this 25 into 3 into 100. Square root of 25 is 5, and square root of 100 is 10, and root 3, that is 50 root 3 meter per second. This is what? This is y component of velocity. So I can write here vy equals to 50 root 3 meter per second. Now what I have to find? Now I have to find the angle made by v vector with x-axis. So here I have given vx, and we know that vx is equal to v cos of theta. So cos theta is equal to what? Cos theta is equal to, it is vx by v, and vx is what? It is 50, and what is v? It is 100, and is equal to 1 by 2. Therefore theta is equal to therefore cos theta is equal to what? It is cos 60 degree, and therefore theta is equal to 60 degree. So this is what angle made by the resultant velocity with x-axis or with the component vx. So question number 5 is what? A man rows a boat with a speed of 18 km per hour in northwest direction. The shoreline makes an angle of 15 degree south of west. Obtain the component of velocity of boat along the shoreline and perpendicular to shoreline. So first of all, we will draw x and y axis. Okay, so we have given that the man rows a boat with a speed of 18 km per hour in northwest direction. This is what? This is east, and this is north, this is west, and this is south. and the man rows the boat in north west direction. So its angle made by the west is 45 degree, because it is exactly in northwest direction, so it will be in between north and west, that is will make 45 degree either with west or with north. This will also be 45 degree. And second thing what we have given, the shoreline makes an angle of 15 degree south of west, 15 degrees south of west, that is the shoreline is making an angle of 15 degree with the direction of west. This is what 15. So this total angle will be 60 degree. The angle between the velocity of boat and shoreline velocity will be 60 degree. Let the velocity of boat is v, so its velocity along the shoreline, this is what the direction of shoreline, so its velocity along the shoreline will be what? Velocity along the shoreline is equal to v cos 60 degree, and v is what? It is 18, and cos 60 degree is what? It is 1/2, and therefore we get what? It is 9 km/h. So velocity of the boat along the shoreline is what? It is it is 9 km/h. And next, its velocity perpendicular to shoreline. Perpendicular means along here, which makes 90 degree angle. So here we'll get what? Velocity of boat perpendicular to shoreline is equal to v sin theta, that is v is what? V is 18 into sine 60 degree, and therefore we get what? 18 into root 3/2, that is 9 root 3 km/h. So this velocity is perpendicular to shoreline, that is along here. This is v perpendicular and this is v parallel. This is what? 9 km/h, and this is what? 9 root 3 km/h. Okay, so what is the question number 6? Given a vector equals to 5 I cap plus 2 j cap plus 4 k cap, find the magnitude of a vector and direction cosines of a vector and unit vector of a vector. So first of all we will find the magnitude of a vector. So we have given what? We have given a vector equals to 5 I cap plus 2 j cap plus 4 k cap. So what is the mod of a vector? As we know, when vector a is represented in terms of its component along xyz axis and unit vectors, then its magnitude is equal to square root of the coefficient of its component, coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap. So we can write here 5 square plus 2 square plus 4 square. Squaring, we get what? 25 plus 4 plus 16, and therefore we get what? 4 plus 16 is 20 plus 25, this is what? Root of 45, or we can write here 3 root 5. This is what? Mod of a vector. So now what next we have to find? We have to find direction cosines. As we know that direction cosines are what? It is cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. So therefore let's find the cos alpha, and cos alpha is what? Cos alpha is ax upon a, and therefore it is equal to what? It is equal to ax is what? Coefficient of I cap, that is 5, and a is what? A can be written as 3 root 5, so it is 3 root 5. And next, what is cos beta? Cos beta is ay upon a. Ay is what? Coefficient of j cap, that is 2, upon a is what? 3 root 5. And what is cos gamma? Cos gamma is equal to, cos gamma equals to what? It is az upon a. What is az? It is coefficient of k cap, that is 4, and a is what? It is 3 root 5. So these are the direction cosines. Now next, what we have to find? We have to find unit vector of a vector. So unit vector of a vector can be represented by a cap, and this can be given by vector a upon its magnitude. So what is vector a? It is 5i cap plus 2j cap plus 4k cap, and this is divided by mod of a vector, and mod of a vector is what? It is 3 root 5. Or we can also write it, it is 1 by 3 I cap plus 2 by 3 root 5 j cap plus 4 upon 3 root 5 k cap. This is what? A cap, that is unit vector of a vector. Alright, so let's solve the question number 7th. Okay friends, question number 7th is what? A bird moves with velocity 20 meter per second in a direction making 60 degree with the eastern line and 60 degree with vertically upward. Represent the velocity in rectangular form. That is, we have to write v vector in terms of vx, vy, vz. So friends, first of all, I'd like to tell you, suppose this is eastern line which represents x-axis, and this is northern line which represents y-axis, and this is vertically upward line which represents z-axis. So I have given the angle made by, suppose a vector v is given over here, so it is making an angle of 60 degree with this vertical line, that is z-axis, and an angle of 60 degree with this horizontal line along x-axis. So I have given basically what? Alpha and gamma, and we have to find beta, and then we will represent the velocity vector in terms of its component along x, y and z axis. So first of all, I will assume let x axis represents eastern line, y axis represents northern line, and z axis represents vertically upward line, vertically upward line. So here it is given that the velocity is making 60 degree with eastern line, that is with x axis. So what we write? The angle made by a vector with x axis is alpha, which is 60 degree, and it is making an angle of 60 degree with vertical, that we have considered z axis. So here gamma is given 60 degree, and what we have to find? Beta. And what we have given? Velocity v equals to 20 meter per second. So in order to obtain the value of beta, we will apply the identity, and what is the identity? It is the sum of the square of the direction cosines of a vector is equal to 1. So we can write here cos square of alpha plus cos square of beta plus cos square of gamma equals to 1. So cos square of alpha is cos 60 degree, cos square of 60 degree plus cos square of beta plus cos square of gamma is what? 60 degree. So here we can write cos square of 60 degree, and this is equal to 1. And what is cos 60? It is 1 by 2. So if we make the square of 1 by 2, we get what? We get 1 by 4, and plus cos square of beta plus here we again get 1 by 4, and this is equal to what? This is equal to 1. So if I add 1 by 4 and 1 by 4, I get 2 by 4 plus cos square of beta equals to 1, and therefore what I get, cos square of beta equals to 1, and this is 1 by 2. So if I take it on other side, it becomes minus 1 by 2. So cos square of beta equals to 1 by 2, and therefore cos beta equals to 1 by root 2, and therefore beta equals to 45 degree. Okay, now I will represent velocity vector in terms of its component along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So v vector can be written as vx I cap plus vy j cap plus vz k cap, and we know that vx is equal to v cos alpha. As we know, cos alpha is vx upon v, and vy is equal to v cos of beta, since cos beta is vy by v, and vz is equal to v cos gamma, since cos gamma is equal to vz upon v. So I can substitute the value of vx, vy, vz in this equation. We get what? V vector is equal to v cos alpha I cap plus v cos beta j cap plus v cos gamma k cap. So what is v? It is 20 cos alpha cos 60 degree, which is 1 by 2 I cap plus 20. What is cos beta? It is cos 45 degree, that is 1 by root 2 j cap, and plus again we get the same, 20 into cos gamma is cos 60, so it is 1 by 2 k cap. So this will become 10, and 20 divided by 2 will become 10, and I can write here 10 I cap plus 20 root 2 j cap plus 10 k cap. This is what v vector, or I can write here v vector equals to 10 I cap plus, if I rationalize it, then it becomes 20 root 2 upon 2, that is 10 root 2 j cap plus 10 k cap. So this is the representation of the velocity vector in terms of its rectangular components along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay, so let's solve the question number 8. So question number 8 is what? Question number 8 is given the coordinates of a moving particle at any time t is given by x equals to ct square and y equals to bt square. Find the velocity of the particle. So friends, basically what we have given, x equals to ct square and y equals to bt square. So here we have, if the position have the two components, then its velocity will also have the two components, that is x component and y component. So in order to, suppose this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So in order to obtain the x component, we will differentiate the equation number 1 with respect to t, as well as equation number 2 with respect to t. So let us find the vx, and vx is what? It is dx by dt, and this is equal to what? This is equal to c into d by dt of t square, and therefore we get what? It is c into 2t, that is 2ct. This is what vx, and now let's find out, let's obtain the vy. So vy is what? Vy is dy by dt, that is we will differentiate equation number 2 with respect to time. So we get what? It is b into d upon dt of t square. So we get what? b into 2t, that is 2bt. So now we have obtained the vx and vy, that is x and y component. So what we have to obtain? The velocity of the particle. So velocity of particle is what? V vector equals to vx I cap plus vy j cap, and that is equal to what is vx? It is 2ct. So I get what? 2ct I cap plus 2bt j cap. Therefore magnitude of velocity is what? V vector is equal to, it is square root of coefficient of square root of the sum of the squares of coefficient of I cap and j cap, that is square of 2ct plus 2bt. So this is equal to what? This is equal to 4c square t square plus 4b square t square, and if I take 4t square common and then I take its square root, then I will get 2t square root of c square plus b square. This is what? This is the magnitude of the velocity. So v is equal to what? 2t square root of c square plus b square. This is the answer of the question number 8. Okay, so what is question number 9? If a vector subtends angle alpha, beta, gamma with x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively, find the value of the sine square alpha plus sine square beta and sine square gamma. So since we know that cos square of alpha plus cos square of beta plus cos square of gamma equals to 1, the sum of the squares of the direction cosines is always equal to 1. We know that. Let this is equation number 1. Now using the identity formula, what is identity? Cos square alpha equals to 1 minus sine square alpha. Cos square of beta equals to 1 minus sine square of beta, and cos square of gamma equals to 1 minus sine square of gamma. Using these using this identity in equation number 1, we can write 1 minus sine square alpha plus, at the place of cos square alpha we will write 1 minus sine square alpha. Now at the place of cos square of beta we will write 1 minus sine square beta plus, at the place of cos square gamma I will write 1 minus sine square gamma, and this is equal to what? 1. Therefore we can write here 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3, and if we take minus sign common, then I can write here sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square of gamma equals to 1. Or I can write here minus sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma in bracket equals to 1 minus, this will be minus 3. 1 and this 3, if we take on right hand side, then it becomes minus 3. So I can write here minus sine square alpha in bracket plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma equals to minus 2. Minus sign will be cancelled from the both sides, so I get what? Sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma equals to 2. This is the value of sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma, as cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma is 1, and sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma is equal to 2. Okay, so question number 10 is what? The system as shown in the figure is in equilibrium. That is, the point, this node is not moving in any direction, neither in vertical nor in horizontal direction, neither along x-axis nor along y-axis. So it means the total force along x-axis and y-axis is equal to 0, or total forces along positive x direction and negative x direction are balancing to each other, and along positive y direction and negative y direction are balancing to each other. So what is given? The system is as shown in the figure is in equilibrium. String 3 is stretched with a force F, and what we have to find the tensions T1 in the string 1 and 2 respectively. So friends, this tension T2 is neither along x-axis nor along y-axis, so it can be resolved into its rectangular components along x-axis and y-axis. So one component will be along the horizontal direction along x-axis, and this can be written as T2 cos 30, and there will be one vertical component along y-axis, and this can be written as T2 sine 30. Okay, so I have to find the value of T1 and T2. Since this node is neither moving along x-axis nor along y-axis, so first of all I'll take the condition for equilibrium. Along y-axis, total forces is equal to 0. Sum of the total forces, sum of the all forces is equal to 0, that is T2 sine 30, and this force can be taken in opposite direction, so this is what minus F is equal to 0, therefore T2 sine 30 is equal to F. So T2 into sine 30 is what? It is 1 by 2 is equal to F, therefore T2 is equal to F. This is the value of T2. Now since this point is in equilibrium, so there is no force along x-axis, that is sum of all the forces along x-axis is equal to 0. So I can write here along x-axis sum of all the forces is equal to 0, that is T2 cos 30 minus T1 is equal to 0, or I can write here T2 cos 30 is equal to T1, and T1 is what? Is equal to, sorry, yes, it is T1. So T1 is equal to what? T2 is what? It is 2F into cos 30. Cos 30 is what? It is root 3 by 2. So 2 will get cancelled, and therefore we get what? T1 is equal to F root 3. Okay, so these are the magnitudes of T1 and T2. Okay, so question number 11th is what? If the sum of two unit vectors is a unit vector, then what is the magnitude of their difference? That is, we have to find the magnitude of the difference of the two unit vectors. So what is given? Suppose here we have given A cap plus B cap is equal to C cap. That is, sum of the two unit vectors is a third unit vector. So, and if it is a unit vector, then magnitude of this vector is equal to magnitude of this unit vector is equal to 1. So here I can write, if I take the mod of A cap plus B cap barabar C cap, mod of C cap, then it is equal to what? 1. That is what is mod of A cap plus B cap? It is square root of mod of A cap plus square of mod of B cap plus 2 mod of A cap plus 2 A cap dot B cap into cos of theta, and this is equal to what? 1. So what I get here, it is, what is mod of A cap? Mod of A cap is 1 and square is again 1. And what is the mod of B square? What is the square of mod of B cap? It is 1 plus 2 A cap B cap cos of theta, and this is equal to what? 1. So squaring on the both sides, I get what? It is 2 plus 2 A cap dot B cap cos theta is equal to 1, or sorry, yes, is equal to 1. Therefore 2 A cap B cap cos theta is equal to what? 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. Therefore here I get the value of A cap 2 A cap B cap cos theta is equal to minus 1. Suppose this is equation number 1. Now what I have to find the magnitude of the difference of the unit vectors. So A cap minus B cap, so I have to find the mod of A cap minus B cap, and this is equal to what? This is equal to square root of mod of A cap square plus mod of b cap square minus 2a cap b cap cos of theta, and this is equal to what? This is equal to 1 plus 1 minus, what is the value of 2a cap b cap cos theta? This is equal to minus 1. So I can write 2a cap b cap as minus 1. So here I get what? It is 1 plus 1 and minus minus plus 1, and therefore it is equal to root 3. This is the value of a cap, mod of a cap minus b cap. Okay. Question number 12. Given that 0.4 I cap plus 0.8 j cap plus bk cap is a unit vector, so what is the value of b? So let us assume that a vector is equal to, a cap is equal to 0.4 I cap plus 0.8 j cap plus bk cap. Why I have considered here a cap? Because it is given that this vector is a unit vector, that is why I have considered it as a cap. Now if I take mod on both sides, then I get what? Here I will get square of the coefficient of I cap plus square of the coefficient of j cap plus square of the coefficient of k cap. Now mod of a cap is what? It is 1, and this is equal to square root of, what is square of 0.4? It is 0.16, and square of 0.8 is what? It is 0.64 plus b square. Now squaring on both sides, we get what? 1 is equal to, if I add these two values, then I get what? I get 0.80 plus b square. Okay, so b square is equal to what? It is 1 minus 0.80. Therefore b square equals to, it is 0.20. Therefore b equals to what? B equals to plus minus square root of 0.20. This is the value of b. So question number 13th is what? The velocity of a particle moving at 6 meter per second eastwards changes to 8 meter per second northwards in 10 seconds. What is the magnitude of average acceleration during this time interval? So here we have given the velocities along x-axis, which is vx equals to 6 meter per second, and then it changes its direction along y-axis. So I can represent here along y-axis, which is 8 meter per second. If I take unit vector along x-axis as I cap, unit vector along y-axis as j cap, this is y-axis and this is x-axis. So I can write the average velocity is what? It is v vector is equal to vx I cap plus vy j cap, and therefore mod of velocity is what? It is square root of vx square plus vy square, and this is equal to what? This is equal to 6 square plus 8 the square. So we get what? 36 plus 64, that is equal to square root of 100, that is 10 meter per second. This is what? Mod of velocity vector. So what I have to find? I have to find average acceleration. So average acceleration is what? A is equal to v by t, and therefore I can write here A is what? It is 10 meter per seconds upon what is average time? It is 10 seconds, and I get what? 1 meter per second square. This is what? Average acceleration.